get asked a lot is whether you can lose weight and get in better shape while still drinking alcohol, which is a perfectly valid question because people want to get in better shape, but at the same time they're not willing to sacrifice the occasional drink because A, maybe they enjoy it, B, they like socialising with friends, they don't want to feel like they're left out, etc. And the good news is you definitely can still get in good shape and lose weight whilst drinking alcohol, but it requires a little bit of understanding beforehand. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So, the first thing you need to understand is the only way to gain weight whilst drinking alcohol is to be in a calorie surplus, i.e. to be eating more calories than you burn. Okay? That's the number one rule. It's never going to change. If you're consuming too many calories, you're going to gain weight, whether that's in the form of alcohol, carbs, fats, proteins, it doesn't matter where that source is coming from, you will gain weight. Okay? So alcohol itself has 7 calories per gram. We know that fat has 9 calories per gram and carbs and protein both have 4 calories per gram. Okay, so that's the first thing we need to understand. So next we're going to go through what typical drinks that you may contain calorie-wise, and this may or may not shock some of you, so we'll go for it, okay? So a large glass of red wine is typically going to contain between 230 to 260 odd calories depending on the strength of the wine and the type of the wine. So 230 to 260 calories per large glass. A medium glass is going to be between about 160 to 180, again depending on the strength and type of wine. Okay, quite a lot, it's a considerable amount. 4 large glasses of red wine is about 1,000 calories. It's like the same as a Big Mac. It's a lot. Beer, rather shamefully and regrettably I haven't got any ale in at the moment, but 4% beer / ale, whatever you want to call it, is typically going to have about 200 calories per pint. Okay, and then as the beer gets stronger, so does the calorie level. So a pint of beer has roughly the same amount of calories as a large slice of pepperoni pizza. Okay, put it into perspective. Spirits are typically a little bit better. So here we've got some Bombay Sapphire gin, we've got some Absolut vodka, and if you're like me and you like your single malt whiskey, we've got some of that here too. Typically a single measure of any of these is going to contain between 60 to 80 calories, which is far less than their counterparts, say the red wine and the beer. If you were to mix those with a low-calorie mixer, like Diet Coke or Diet Lemonade or Diet Tonic, depending on what you're having, not with the single malt obviously, do not mix anything with single malt because that just ruins it. But if you were to have it with the others, then you can save a lot of calories. If you were to mix it with full-fat Coke and full-fat tonic if you like, then naturally that's going to boost up the calorie content. But if you were to mix Bombay Sapphire, 3 single shots in 3 separate drinks with Diet Tonic in each one, that's only going to contain about 240 calories, okay, and that's for 3 drinks, versus 1 large glass of red wine is going to contain the same number of calories as those 3 drinks. So if you're going out and you know you're going to be drinking a lot, sticking to your spirits is probably be your best bet in terms of saving calories, okay? So that's something to consider if you know you're going to be going out and drinking a lot for whatever reason, for whatever social occasion. And if you're just having 1 or 2 drinks at home, this can still be your best bet because it saves calories. If you have 2 of these, that's going to be about 500 calories. If you're somebody who's only aiming for say 1,500 calories a day, that's a third of your daily calories right there. Now, the good news is you can plan for this. If you know you're going out and you know you're going to be drinking, you can plan for it. So maybe you consume a little bit less food during the day, you stick with your proteins and your veggies throughout the day of 2 or 3 meals, don't have too many carbs and too many fats, and then when you go out, you know you've got that kind of buffer to consume a little bit more alcohol without going over your daily calorie quota, okay? And that typically works really well, especially if you're not counting calories for whatever reason. If you're not counting, just fill up during the day on protein and veggies, which isn't going to be too high in calories, and then know you've got a little bit of extra room. The caveat here is that when you're drunk and you're out, don't drunk eat. On your way home, you're walking past that pizza place, you're walking past the kebab shop, whatever, don't go and grab one because you're probably going to add like 800 to 1,000 calories on top of what you've already had, and that's definitely going to take you over your calorie limit. So you've got to be really careful about that. Grab some water, go home, slam that water down, make a cup of tea and go to bed. Do not be tempted to binge eat after your drunken night, because then you're going to ruin all of that hard work that you potentially put in by only drinking certain drinks in the first place. So you don't want to be doing that. But you absolutely can drink whilst trying to lose weight. It just certainly helps to know the calorie count of given drinks, and then you can potentially factor it in and plan it in, and then maybe not go as heavy on the red wine and stick to your more kind of like lower calorie alcohols and still have a good time whilst not ruining your progress. And that's what we're kind of looking for here, is almost like damage limitation, is go out and enjoy yourself, know that it's not going to completely take you off track providing you plan it in and you're careful, and then have at it and enjoy it, and then the next day just get right back on track and carry on as you were. That's as simple as it can be. You just need to kind of have the foresight to look at it from the bigger picture and realise that you don't have to demonise alcohol in order to lose weight.